Alright guys, haven't made a video in a while, but we just had some real big events go on with the election. Wow. Wow, the stuff I've seen in the last couple days is like amazing. It's pretty awesome stuff, so I'm going to share it with you really quickly. First, let's go to gold. I know last time I talked to you, I said that I was buying gold derivatives here, and I sold out about here because I thought it was going to continue down. And I ended up taking about 25% profit. I bought it at 9.97 and 9.70, and I sold it at 12 and 12.50. But look at this last formation. I know I went over this formation in a couple other videos. It's when to short stocks. So Trump got elected. Gold spiked after hours. Instead of breaking through this trend line, it bounced off it, and when that happens, like I said before, that's when you short markets. Look at that, bounce right down, boom. So gold is going lower. I'm gonna stay away from it for a little bit. Those JNUGs that I bought at in the 9s and sold in 12s are now in 690. They bounced off 650 today. I'll start to look at them again when they're at about 6. This thing starts to have to level off though a little bit because we could be heading quite a bit lower. Gold is definitely probably heading south to 1210, 1200 an ounce. So that's covering that. Gold is bearish right now. We're not touching it. Although when this starts to level out, JNUG is going to be a buy at dirt cheap for those derivatives. Okay, let's look at some other stuff. I texted a buddy of mine right before the election, and I said, man, if there was an election, I would short the euro right now. And I said that right here because it broke a trend line just like gold just did, just like the market did in 2008 and 2000. Broke that down trend line, came up and hit that line. I told him right here, I go, if there was not an election, and that was like, yeah, what was it, November like 2nd or something. I go, if there wasn't an election, I would short it right now. Hit that. Election, no election, followed that pattern perfectly. So the euro's down. It's a short. I wouldn't touch it with shorts right now. You missed your opportunity, but it's just interesting how that pattern will play out across markets, commodities, and currencies. Let's look at the Australian dollar. Australian dollar has had a lot of negative volume on it. It was in that funnel we were talking about from months ago. Remember? We started to cover it, I don't know, right around here, and we said, oh, it's going to play out. Look at that. A false break. We've got a break south. This is either going to be another false break, and we're going to come up, or if it continues heading south, we're going to wait. It'll probably retouch this trend line from the bottom. That's when we hit it with some shorts, just like the euro. Let's look at Brazil. Brazil got killed off the election news. No free flowing trade with them. They got hit bad. All right, so it was on this uptrend line. It had been on this uptrend line for quite a long time, and it was coming up. And I remember saying we were coming up against a downtrend line that's been established since 2008, and it has not broken that since 2008. Look at it. It's bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. Has not broke. It touched here, came down. This is the news that Hillary was cleared by the FBI. It looked like it was going to break. We have a Trump victory. Boom. That is a clear break of that line. We're going to wait till it comes back up. And then if you want to short it, you can short it. I do that with BRZU, which is a derivative of the EWZ. Okay, let's look at the Australian market. And this one is pretty calm and doing nothing, still following that uptrend line. Although I imagine if the Aussie dollar breaks south, this will follow. Okay, now to the good stuff. Let's go to the SPY. Actually, we'll cover the SPY. Boom. Look at that. Giant jump in the last couple days. Came up against this resistance line. This resistance line is from the Brexit vote, and the downturn in February. But it'll probably go higher from there. But it might actually turn down the next couple days because on the Stow, it's overbought. It's not overbought on RSI, but if you look at the other ones we're going to look at right now, it'll probably follow them down. Let's look at the Dow Jones. Wow, look at that. Don't touch it right now. Significantly overbought, significantly overbought. This is a sign that the people on Wall Street saw Trump victory and they see that as a gift from heaven, I guess, for them. So much for throwing them out, but yeah, this is gonna be big. That was an all-time high. That wasn't just an all-time high. If you look back, it has not moved like that since I've been following it. So that's amazing. This is going to be a market you're going to want to be in on. This is going to turn into a stage 2 bull market. Wait till this sells off, though. This is significantly overbought. You buy it now, you're going to be suffering some short-term pain. All right, we're going to look at, and I told people about this today, this is the big one, the Russell 2000 small caps. Now, if I know they're trading this on news of the Trump victory because small caps suffered pretty heavily over the last year and a half. But if indeed Trump, he abolishes the EPA, all that stuff, and lowers corporate taxes, they are going to take off. If they allow more drilling, stuff like that, making energy cheaper, these are going to take off. These are the small cap names. Like I said, it went from it blew up. Look at that. That's huge. Okay, this is going to be a stage 2 bull market. I had been watching this since the sell-offs in August and the sell-offs in February. And here, I thought that the Russell was actually signaling that we were actually going to see a significant correction in the S&P and the Dow. Because, look, we were down. And unlike the S&P and the Dow, we didn't recover all the way, and we went down again. So this right here, let's do arrows. This top, bottom pattern, this looked like it was going down, but it didn't. Came back, but here it still couldn't get to the highs. But now it's going to the high. So what we have here is, let me get rid of these, is we have a giant reverse head and shoulders, which is extremely bullish. We have shoulder 1, we have head, and we have shoulder 2. And this, I thought it was confirmed here, but it didn't break out, so I thought that maybe this was just a pre-election rally. But with this move up here, this thing is going to look like this. So, buy the Russell. That's all I have to say. IWM's ETF that covers the Russell, this thing is going to go. I'm stunned. I mean, I'm looking at the volume, and I am stunned. This thing is going to go. Again, don't buy it right now. Wait till it fades. It's overbought. It could start to grind up. But on the first downturn of probably 3 to 5%, you want to pick some of this up. And it even pays a dividend of, I think, about 2%. Or no, this one's 1.66. So pretty good. But this is going to turn into a stage 2 bull market. This is a bottoming pattern. This is like a sign from the heavens bottoming pattern. This is going up. So I'll be buying this as soon as this thing pulls back a little bit. Let's look at the banks. The banks, even though they railed against Trump during the election, well, now they love him. And judging by the fact that he even considered Jamie Dimon as his Treasury Secretary, they're going to be in bed with him pretty good, because look at this. Look at the volume on this. That is insane. Look at that. That is insane. Look at the last time we had volume like that. 2011 going to 2012. Look what followed. Whoops. Look what followed. That huge stage 2 bull market in 2013. judging that we're probably, I would bet we are going to have a rate hike come December. That is going to be very good for the banks. The banks are telling us this is huge. And again, we have now a confirmed reverse head and shoulders, extremely bullish. This is where you have to have fortitude. You have to just, if you think the economy is going to do well, you have to buy this, because this, people back here were afraid, oh, it's going to turn down, and look what happened. XLF, the financials, the banks are a buy. Oops. And the Russell is a buy. But again, wait till they pull off, because it's extremely, extremely overbought. So interesting stuff. We are going to see some huge market gains. I think in the next couple years, and I don't think anyone saw this coming. I didn't see it coming, but it is very interesting.